Hi, everybody. I'm Suzanne Shirley, Emerald Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide, and we are here tonight to discuss the incredible Romi Neustadt Get Over Your Damn Self, how to build the no BS blueprint to building a life-changing business. And we have really realized that Romi is a no-nonsense, in-your-face, say it like it is millionaire in network marketing. She knows her stuff. She's seen it, done it, bought 1,000 t-shirts, and it's quite obvious when I read her chapters. It's quite obvious why she is not just a top earner in her company, but I think the top earner in her company. So both she and her husband are millionaires. They are both way into the seven figures. They're not just low-end seven-figure earners. They are way into the seven figures. So that's a pretty big deal. So this chapter is chapter 13. We're talking about your time is worth $962 an hour. Now, interesting concept. I wanted to know where she was going to take it, like where she was taking this. And I am so really psyched to read and to really just uncover what this means. You know, you've got to take care of yourself while you're building your empire. And you know what? You might think that sounds cliche, building an empire, but do you believe that's what you're doing? I mean, when I sit back and think about what I'm doing over here, what God is doing with this thing, with me involved, I think he's building an empire. I certainly wasn't building an empire as a teacher. I was helping people. I'm helping people now, but I'm building an empire here. That's what we are doing every single day. And how do you find more time in your day, your week, or your month so you can use that extra time to do the self-care necessary to be the CEO of your business and your life? You need to discover how to find that extra time. She's going to show you how to do it. You've got to learn how to be more efficient. Now this, I will admit to all of you, is my number one problem. Time management. It's my number one problem. The thing that I do is I do all the other little BS things. I hate to say it, but I do all the other little BS things that are not going to earn me some money. And I can exhaust myself doing those little things. And they're not so little, like posting on the team page, making a team video, getting a team contest together, choosing the winner of a contest, analyzing reports, messaging certain individuals to make sure that they've done X, Y, Z, whatever the case may be. Posting on Facebook even is not an income producing activity. It's just showing the world that my business is open. I'm open for business. So I will exhaust myself doing all the, excuse me for saying, little BS things, and then I won't have any energy left to prospect. I've done it over and over and over again. And that leads to an unbalanced life. That leads to an entire weekend of sitting in the house doing my business because I feel guilty not prospecting. So I'll spend the entire weekend prospecting. I just spent the whole weekend prospecting. I did. I'm really proud of myself, but I had a long list of things that I needed to do over the last 3 or 4 weeks, and I've gotten all of those things done, except for the last one, which was get my Frank's list revamped, get my index card boxes reworked, reorganized, updated, notes taken on each one of all the different conversations that I've had with these individuals, and get it to where it's a functioning mechanism now for my business. I actually did that this weekend. Plus, I'm in the process of selling 7-day trials right now. I have messaged everybody under the sun, and I've already had 3 people purchase. So I've got other people that have already given me their address, their phone number, their email, and all that, but they just haven't gone in and purchased yet. So I'm having to make sure they get in there and do that. So that's what I've been doing all weekend. And I'm just going to admit to you, because I will, and I've heard other jewels do the same thing. I have heard other people that say, you know, I pick one day a week and I just message 50 people, like 50 brand new people. I get all of those people in one day, and then I follow up on a separate day, and then I take a day off on one particular day. Then I do, you know, that's what certain jewels will do. Now, the thing is I haven't found a system that works for me. I've done the consistent every single day, do something, and I make sure that I'm doing something every day. So I don't want you to know I'm not sitting around doing nothing every day. But the fact is I will feel guilty because I've only done a certain number of something small, and then I'll feel like, man, I've got to get those numbers going. So I will sit down and go Mach 20 and just message a buttload of people, and just my phone starts blowing up, because honestly, people do respond to me. Not all the time, but they're saying something to me, and I've got to get something back to them. So I'm just telling you, time management is still my number one problem. It is my goal to get that figured out. Time is our most valuable resource. You need to decide on two different specific numbers. Number one, how much do you ultimately want to earn annually from your business? And I'm not talking about just right now, this year. I'm talking about ultimately. How much do you want to earn in your business ultimately? And I sat back and I asked myself that question, and I came up with a number. And it's a freaking big number, because I know what it's going to do for us. It's not the money, it's the freedom, and it's the things that I can do with that money. There's big dreams that I have. I have big goals, big dreams I want to do for my family and for other people. And so I'm not there yet. You've got to ask yourself, what is the ultimate annual income that you want to earn? And really go there. Ask yourself that question. And number two, how many hours a week do you want to work? How many hours a week do you want to work? You know, because you can decide it. Not talking about have to work, talking about want to work. So I love that she says, I only want to work 20 hours a week. And I love that number. I only really want to work 20 hours a week too. And on average, that's how many hours I work. 20 hours or so a week. Some weeks I work way more than that. Some weeks I put in 40 hours in my business, at least. Some weeks I don't have to. So she talks about herself. She says, I wanted to earn $1 million a year and only work 20 hours a week. Now that's where she was when she was building her business. That's what her number one goal back in the day was. Now she's got a way bigger goal than just $1 million, okay? She's got it's millions and millions of dollars now, okay? But back then it was $1 million a year and work 20 hours a week. She said, I wanted to know what my time was worth if I was going to do that. So here were her calculations from back then. 20 hours a week at 52 weeks a year equals 1,040 hours per year that she was willing to work. $1 million divided by 1,040 hours per year equals $962 per hour. So every single hour of her 20-hour week is worth $962 per hour based on her dream income. And she says, as I write this, every hour of my time based on my current goals of philanthropy is worth right now $3,846. That's her current hourly wage for her current dream goal salary. Okay. So that's her current philanthropic value of her time. So this is how we should define how big our dreams actually are. If you go and look on page 173 and look at the little square where it says get into action, and you actually do what it says right there, really think about what you want this business to create for you and your family, then use those numbers to come up with your time's hourly worth. When you've got it, write it down below. If you do that little activity right there, like what I did when I sat back and did it, you're going to start to see how big your dreams actually need to be. You're going to actually start going there. Are you dreaming big enough? That's a good question. How much is your time actually worth every single hour? So either way, let's get you smarter about how you're spending your time. She wants to give us the Cliff Notes version of some simple ways to find more time. So the first way to do it is manage your work schedule. Manage your work schedule. And I love, you know what she suggests here, right here, when she talks about setting operational hours or work hours, business hours, that's a bunch of BS, she says. I have heard this from Jewel after Jewel after Jewel after Jewel. And you know what? She makes a lot of sense saying that setting work hours is a bunch of BS, because she says no day looks like the day before or the day last week or the next day. No week looks like the week before or the next week or the one before that. And you know what? She's right. She's right. She says, I could never quite get them to work or get anyone else to stick to operational hours, work hours. Why? Because hours of operations are total BS. Total BS. She says, I haven't had 2 weeks in a row that look the same. And I haven't either. I have not either. Every week is different, and every tomorrow may not look like the one that you had planned. So am I right, she says? So forget rigid hours of operation. Just forget it. It's not going to work. And I was so glad to hear that, because I've always looked down on myself because I don't have rigid hours of operation for every single day or whatever. But let me tell you, she does have a plan on how to manage your time. The first thing you need to do is put everything that you have to do in your life in one place on one particular calendar, whether it's a written calendar or whether it's an online calendar, whatever it is, you got to get it all. Your kids' stuff, your grocery trips, your gym, going to the gym, getting your nails done, getting your hair appointment, having the car repaired, going to work and back, whatever the case may be, if you have different hours that you do. The lives of CEOs of growing empires work because they schedule their lives. So you've got to schedule your life on a calendar. Get everything in one place. Number 2, instead of trying to operate out of these established hours of operation, every Sunday night, sit down, and this is what Dusty Duncan taught me how to do with the 90-day challenge, and this is still what I do. And I'm telling you, if you're not doing planning Sundays, then you are completely behind on the game. I learned this from Dusty Duncan. Every Sunday night, sit down for 15 minutes with your calendar and map out the entire coming week. Put your gym trips on there, your hair appointment, going to the tanning salon, I don't care what it is, going to the grocery store, getting the car fixed, having the tires done, whatever. I don't care what it is. Kids' trips, whatever they're doing. Get it all on there for the whole week. And then identify pockets of time that you're going to devote yourself to your own prospecting. You have to define those on a daily basis. When am I going to get that prospecting done? Remember, if you do not pay yourself first, your business will not grow. You've got to set that time aside. This time is sacred, and it is not to be used for anything else. Next, mark off when you'll be available for 3-way calls and short coaching calls with your team. 3-way calls are a necessity. I'm telling you, every time I do a 3-way call, that person either signs up or we set an appointment for them to sign up. If you are not utilizing 3-way calls with your sponsor or your upline, or 3-way chats, which lead to 3-way calls, you are not burning on all 4 burners. When you have somebody that's finally interested and wants to talk Plexus or even think about Plexus, in a 3-way chat with your sponsor, you don't ask them to do it. You just say, hey, I want to introduce you to my friend Suzanne. Hey, I want to introduce you to my friend Lori. Hey, I want to introduce you to my business partner Susie. I would love to introduce you to my business partner Kim. She's been doing the business for a long time. She's got a great testimony. I want you to hear her testimony at the very least. And what we want to do is we want to offer you a chance to ask us any kind of questions that you might have to see if this is a good fit for you or not, so that you can see whether it's a good fit for you or not. That's all it is. It's not pressure for them to buy. You've got to start. I'm preaching to the preaching here. You have got to utilize three-way chats. You've got to utilize three-way calls. End of story. Okay? And when you get a brand new ambassador, three-way chat with your sponsor. I don't care who it is. If they're just in it for the wholesale ambassador, if they're just in it to buy product, I don't care. Introduce them to your sponsor. Get them in an upline three-way chat. Introduce them. Let's have a conversation. Why did you join Plexus? What's your why? Actually, essentially, they need to be on a call with you for 15 minutes with your sponsor, brand new ambassador. You need to do a welcome call. They need to have somebody that's connected to them other than just yourself. Okay? So you've got to mark off time to make available for three-way calls and short coaching calls with your team. And then finally get your 5-3-2 list ready for Monday. The 5 new people you're going to reach out to, the 3 people you're going to touch back with, and the 2 team members you're going to touch base with. So reaching out to new people, following up, and touching base with team members. That's the 5-3-2. Okay? If you want to do 3-2-1, whatever your number is. 5-3-2, 3-2-1, 5-5-3, I don't care what you want to call it. Just make up your thing and make sure you stick to it. You need to coordinate with your spouse. That's another thing that she did, was she sat down with her husband and she planned out the week with the spouse so that they got on the same page. They knew that on Monday she was going to pick the kid up and do XYZ. On Tuesday, he was going to pick up the kid and do XYZ. On Wednesday, they were going to meet at such and such place for dinner. They had already figured it out. She said, we like to do them on Sunday evenings before he and I solidify our personal calendars together. Then every day of the week before you shut down for the night, you go back and take 5 minutes and look at the next day's schedule. And that's exactly what I do. Every night before I go to bed, what do I have going on tomorrow? I need to be here by such and such time. I need to call this one at this time. I've got to be on the phone. I've got to be home so that I can call this one at this time. That's what I'm doing. Okay, I'm looking at my calendar. 15 minutes on Sunday night and 5 minutes every single evening. You've got to commit to this system for 1 month. And I promise you, you're going to feel like you're proactively running your business instead of reacting to it. Now, the only problem that I have with my calendar is that I'm not scheduling my IPA. And like I said, it's the last thing that gets done. It needs to be the first thing that gets on that calendar. And so I get it in, but it's a scramble session. It's a scramble for, okay, well, I didn't get to do all the things I was going to do yesterday, so I'm going to do it today. And then I didn't get to do it all today, I'm going to do it tomorrow. I do make sure I do the minimums, but I have bigger goals than that, guys. I have bigger goals to reach out to more than 2 or 3 people a day. And so I always feel guilty if I'm not doing that. Okay. What is your stop doing list? Ooh, this one hit home. Stop doing things that take time away from you. Wow. If you're finding it hard to find time for personal prospecting, ding, 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 then you're doing too much of something else. Find out what you need to stop doing, basically. Define that. I strongly believe that we should spend 85 to 95% of our time on personal prospecting, training newbies who are coachable and responsive, and doing 3-way calls for the team. Stop scrolling Facebook. Yes, I love that, Suzanne. You really need to consistently devote 10 to 15 hours a week to doing that. I wrote whoa out to the side on this one. You're not able to devote at least 8 If you're not able to devote at least 8.5 hours a week to the essential income producing activities of prospecting, training the newbies, and doing 3-way calls, then you need to cut something else out of your life that you're doing. You need to get rid of some stuff. How long are you spending chit-chatting with team members? Uh-oh. Guilty. Usually it's Angela. I've got several chats that I'm a member of, and there's constant conversation going on in there. Outside of the team, there's chats that I'm a member of, not necessarily team chats, but outside of the team. There's a bunch of senior rubies with emeralds in there now because some of them have ranked up, and they're always doing this all day long, constantly. I can get wrapped up in that if I'm not careful. Talking to people, rehashing the same concepts with your business partners, just talking about the same stuff all the time. These are time suckers, and they are not going to help you grow your business. Trolling Facebook and thinking you're doing IPAs, you are not. You are not. At the end of writing down every bit of business activity that you're doing or you think that you're doing for a week, you'll have a good idea of what's not serving you. Stop doing them so that you can spend your valuable and precious time focused on the things that will actually grow your income. I will tell you this. I do not spend a lot of time scrolling Facebook anymore. I've been in this thing for 3 years, almost 3 years this November. Not there yet, but almost. Way over 2.5 years now. Scrolling Facebook is not fun for me anymore. I'm going to just be honest with y'all. Okay? Because my whole Facebook is Plexus. That's all it is, my whole timeline. I hardly have anything on my Facebook that's not a Plexus friend. All my friends that I'm seeing on my timeline are Plexus people. I love my Plexus friends. I love them. That's not what I'm saying. It's just work. It seems like it's work when I'm scrolling around on Facebook. My phone is now my job. It's not a place of fun for me anymore. I have friends lists. Yes, you need to set up friends lists so that you're going to go and see your non-Plexus friends' posts. I do have those friends lists. But I'm just saying that when I am on my phone and I am on Facebook, it is not a joyride. I do not use it for something that takes up time for me or gives me pleasure. I am on Facebook to do business, period. And if I get caught up looking at something, I'm not saying that I can't get caught up looking at something and get distracted. But Facebook for me is not a place of pleasure anymore, okay? Let's talk about coaching calls must have a purpose, okay? All team members have to complete a coaching questionnaire. I love this. I've never done this before. I love this idea. All team members have to complete a coaching questionnaire and return it to me several hours before we get on a call. She says it's designed to understand how actively this person is working her business, where she's spending her time, and what challenges that we need to discuss. And the 4 questions are, how many new people did you reach out to in the last week? How many 3-way calls did you bring to your upline in the last week? How many 3-way calls were brought to you in the last week? And did you have the level of activity that you wanted? And if not, explain why. Bam. Those are, okay, when Dave Walker, who is my business coach, is on the phone with me twice a month, do you know what he asks me? Similar questions. How many people did you sponsor into the business this month? How many new customers? How many 3-way calls? How many 7-day trials? How many this? How many that? Did you meet your goal? How many people did you coach in the business last week? Who's working on what goal? Have you helped them to get to that level? I mean, literally, he asked me those questions. And if I have not, I'm telling you, I get dinged. I get dinged, guys. Those are my coaching calls. And so I know what's coming. I know it's coming. So you've got to do the same thing with your coaching calls. We all need to be doing coaching calls. And a lot of you that are listening tonight are in the 90-day challenge. Not all of you, but a lot of you are. And for the 3rd section of the 90-day challenge, we are doing coaching calls. we are going to dip down into our team and start to help these people, whether it is a customer, whether it's a wholesale ambassador, or whether it's a business builder. We have to connect with the people in our organization, and we have to connect with them and ask them questions and make sure that they're getting their needs met and that we are doing everything we can to help them. So just letting you know, the coaching calls are coming. So she has them list these 3 topics that they want to discuss during the call. It requires the business builder to reflect on her personal activity, and it's easier for me, the upline, to diagnose issues, refine, and help them fix. If a builder is a no-show without notice and there's no emergency, then we table the sessions until she's ready to treat this like a business and respect my time, she says. This is Romi talking. When a team member does not reach out to at least 15 new people in a week for more than 2 sessions, we put the coaching calls on hold until she's ready to commit the time to talk to enough people to grow her business. Oh, I love that. She says, am I a hard ass on this? Yes, I am. Somebody has to be in order to get my time. Okay? The person has to be all in with their business in order to get time with their upline on a coaching call. So as the upline, your time is worth something highly powerful, and someone has to be all in to get your time if they're going to spend some time with you. Don't coach a bunch of people that are deadbeats that are not working their business. But I'm just saying, if you're a beginner and if you've got a couple of people on your team, they're not growing, they're not sharing, then you're going to have to say, quote unquote, doing a coaching call is with your wholesale ambassador, just checking in on them, making sure that they have their needs met. Is there anything that you can do to help them? Ask them about their water intake. At the very minimum, asking them about some of their results that they're receiving. So, but she's talking about big team building, where you get in there and you're doing coaching calls for your downline. She says, I hope that you understand the virtues of being a hard ass. I don't have problems being a hard ass. I don't. I have to worry about how not to be too much of one. I have to. That's what I have to worry about. And I was that way as a teacher. And I'm not just that way with other people. The reason I'm a hard ass is because I'm a hard ass on myself. I put myself to that same high standard or even higher. So if I hold myself to that high standard and then I don't meet it, I feel like a complete loser. So that's why I have a huge agenda of holding other people to the same standard, I think. Okay, next one, work with your body, not against it. Find out when are your biggest down times and when are your biggest up times for energy. And focus for your mental clarity. So if you know that you are best in the morning between 8 and 10 a.m., then that's when you need to schedule your IPA time. If you know that you have more mental clarity from 8 to 9 p.m. at night, or 2 different particular times a day, then that's when you need to schedule your IPA. That's when the best time for you needs to be put in there. She uses her lower energy times to get things done that do not require to be compelling or inspiring. Okay, they don't require her to be compelling or inspiring. So look at yourself, look at your schedule, and look at your body and how it functions. And when you're setting aside time for prospecting, make sure that it's when you're at your, that you're in your natural valleys instead of, wait a minute. Make sure it's not when you're in your natural valleys, but rather when you're in your peak, okay? Prospect during your peak energy times. Okay, the personal touch does not have to be in person. You don't have to go and meet with people all the time in person. Use the phone. That's what this is for. Get on the phone. Get on FaceTime. Get on the phone. Don't do anything in person that you can do on the phone or in FaceTime. Saves lots and lots of trouble. Training over the phone saves everybody driving time and shows your new business partner that she can train team members after team members in other cities and countries using her time efficiently and not believe that any preconceived geographical limitations are present. That's the beauty of having a national team. We do this all the time. I sponsor people out of state all the time. In fact, many of the people that are buying 7-day trials from me are in other states right now. And we can get on the phone, we can do voice text, we can do FaceTimes. There is no need to have to meet these people in person. Okay, she says, I quickly learned that it's important to qualify how interested a person is in learning more about my business and my products before considering whether or not we should meet in person. You're busy. Your people are talking and they are busy. So show your prospects how simple the business is to fit into their crazy schedule, full lives, and how there are no geographical limitations on how much that they can grow and where they can grow. Use the phone, folks. Do not get distracted. All those alerts and notifications and texts and tags, don't get distracted. I have over 100 notifications on my Facebook at all times. I just tell my level 1 ambassadors, hey, if you need me, do not tag me in anything. Just tell me you want me to come comment. Just tell me that you want me to go and look at somebody. Tell me their name. Tell me what the post is, and I will go comment. Because I don't check notifications. I just don't. Because there's too many of them. There's too many of them for me. And they're overwhelming. So texts, notifications, tags, the dog, the laundry, the workmen that are coming in, fixing the house, the kids, the refrigerator. If you don't learn to be disciplined about all this stuff, it can eat up the time that you have to build your business. So here's some tips. Check your email for your use of your business only 3 times a day. Use texting for more urgent matters and ask your team to do the same. Check Facebook or Instagram no more than 3 times a day. When you do get on social media, set a timer. This is a good one for those of you that get on social media and can't seem to get off and you lose yourself scrolling Facebook. When you get on social media, set a timer on your phone for 5 to 10 minutes. And when it goes off, get back on the other crucial aspects of your business. When it's time to do your personal prospecting, close down every other application or program that's not required for your particular call that you're going to do. And turn off notifications. You know, I love the airplane mode. I love the airplane mode because nothing gets through that sucker. Nothing gets through that. Stick your phone on airplane mode a few hours a day. If you feel overwhelmed and you can't seem to get a hold on your phone and what's going on there, and it is leading you around like that has a ring through your nose and it's leading you around through your day and your whole day is reactionary, take control of your day. Turn it on airplane mode. Next tip, multiply your time. If you're trying to juggle 3 or more things at once, forget about doing that. You will not be doing any of them very well. Use multipliers. I love how she identifies with this. I've always thought, what am I doing that's, I do multipliers all the time and I didn't even realize I was doing it. I'm making dinner, listening to a call. I'm making dinner, talking to a team member, a level 1, a level 2, a level 3. I'm making dinner, I'm taking a walk, I'm on the treadmill, listening to a call. Putting on my makeup, listening to a call, talking to somebody on my team. I put them on speaker. I walk around with my phone on speaker all the time. People are always on speaker all the time. I'm always doing something else. I've learned how to make calls while I'm doing something else and still be able to dedicate myself with enough attention to them. Okay? Multipliers are a key to rethinking your time. Read and respond to emails and Facebook messages when I'm sitting with the kids during homework time. That's one of the things she does. Listen to training calls when doing cardio. Do 3-way calls when doing anything from cooking to doing laundry or driving. Okay? She says, however, one time I got very good at once I got really good at fielding three-way calls. She said, I found that driving time was a very valuable source for doing IPA. And it is. If you're driving anywhere on a commute, 3 calls, make yourself do 3 prospecting calls while you're in the drive. I'm telling you, you could get some serious IPA done during commutes. Okay. Think about the different ways that you could put this into practice and come up with at least 3 multipliers that you could start implementing. Multipliers. I love that. I mean, seriously, a lot of my personal growth is multiplying time. I do not, except for this book, okay? I do not sit down and read a book unless I'm going to teach something to the team. My personal growth is on Audible, and I am always listening to that. I'm listening to Audible while I do most of my life, and that's my personal growth, okay? Sitting down to highlight and underline and take notes, that is strategic studying, and I do that, and I make myself do it because I'm teaching the team something every week, and that is good. At least I'm doing that, but the rest of it is always on audio. So are you clustering similar activities together on your schedule? If not, I'm challenging you to get into the habit of doing so that you can avoid the little time suckers that come every time that you have to switch back and forth between your tasks. Not only will you be more efficient, but you'll also feel less taxed and stretched and frantic. Let's turn the page and talk about how you can take care of yourself. And that's next chapter. We're going to talk about how you can take care of yourself on the next one. So I think we just finished it. We went from 7:30 to 8:15, and we're going to have our nice little team discussion. So if you're not joining the live call, you're not going to be with us on the team discussion, which sometimes are the most important parts of this call. I challenge you to join us live every Sunday night. Yes, you, those of you who are watching the video playback, I am talking directly to you. You need to join our team calls on 7:30 Sunday nights, Central Standard Time. Okay? Tough love from me, but you need to be on our live call because otherwise you don't get to bond with the team and you don't get to have actual support from out in the field. This team is an incredible team, and you need to make friends with the people on this team and learn that you have people that are digging in the trenches right alongside you. Come and join us 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Times on Zoom. Get with us on Sunday nights. All right, peace out. We'll see you on the flip side. Mwah.